Welcome to the Wellness for Women show, where we talk about life, weight loss and everything in between. I'm Faye Caseman, founder of the AAA Way Life and Weight Loss Programme, and I'm here to help you put together the pieces of life and weight loss for one last time. This is an episode of the Wellness for Women show, filmed live in the free Facebook group. Hello, and welcome to episode number 72 of the Wellness for Women show, part 3 of your ultimate guide to having food freedom on holiday. And in this episode, we are unpacking, reflecting and embracing your post-holiday self. We have washing to do and we have to get back to work. We are yeah, you guessed it, getting back to reality. So, how was your holiday? How have you been? Have you been on one recently? Let me know in the chat. How are you feeling? Are you feeling a little bit sad, a bit deflated? Maybe you're daydreaming about sunbeds and margaritas. Maybe you're thinking about the black run you did and the après ski. Maybe you're looking at your holiday photos. Are you looking at them with glee or are you looking at them cringing? And as your holiday adventure has come to the end, it's time to address the aftermath of any life or weight loss or well-being related concerns that you might have arising. And in this episode, I'll explore how you can gracefully navigate the post-holiday period and how your weight loss with love journey is going. And as usual, let me know what your takeaways are from this episode in either the free Facebook group or if you're in the Backstage Pass membership in the dedicated community. Leave a hashtag gem plus any comments. Likewise, if you've got a question, the group's the place to be for community and support. And again, super quick intro from me. I'm Faye Caseman, certified life coach and a trainee belief coding facilitator. And I want to help you lose weight with love so you can ditch outdated methods and find more joy in the process. And so check the link in the description box to find out more about how you can work with me. So let's dive on in. So as usual, I really do want to know what's coming up for you. So let me know what comes up for you post-holiday. Make sure that if you're watching this on a video, comment under a video, or if you're on a podcast, hop into one of those groups. So how was it for you? So holiday blues, let's talk about that in the first instance. So I had a fantastic time away recently on holiday. It was a whole month ago. It feels like, doesn't feel like that long, but yet also it does. It's always nice to spend time with friends. The weather was gorgeous. The staff at the hotel were lovely. And I didn't have to think about cooking or cleaning. I was living the dream. However, coming back to the UK, often to rain and cold, it can be a bit of a buzzkill. Reality sets in and the post-holiday blues start to creep in, and it's common to feel a bit down after returning from holiday or time off, as you miss those carefree days and relaxation. And at the risk of oversharing, as usual, coming back from the holiday for me this time coincided with a visit from Mother Nature, God bless her. And so my mood was very low. And although Cape Verde only had a 2-hour difference, I have a tendency to get migraines when I don't sleep and when my sleep's impacted. So I had sicky headache, body aches to boot, which again felt like I had jet lag, as daft as it sounds. But touch wood, I have escaped the post-holiday cold that can sometimes happen. So that is a bonus. But all in all, though, I have to say I was feeling pretty damn shitty. There were tears, a lot of sulking, I was missing the sun, missing the pina coladas, and of course I had washing to do. Plus I had to dive back into my home and work duties again. There were definitely a few thoughts about needing another holiday. Most of my mood was hormone related, and I know that because I know myself and my body well enough nowadays to know what's going on. But it still is an opportunity to use my mindfulness to help me to take the edge off of everything. So I spent time listening to my mind and body whilst it passed, but I say it gave me a real opportunity to think about what the holiday blues actually look like. And also as well, I had made the decision before going away that I wasn't going to be actively working on weight loss, because as I explained in part 1, it's really important to decide how you're going to show up and then own that decision, rather than flip-flopping about and beating yourself up for thinking that you should be doing something when, you know, you just need to make a decision ultimately. But still, there was a few thoughts about hopping back on that scale. What was it going to show? Getting back into the swing of things and routine after a holiday, it can be a little bit tricky. So I took a few days off work after the holiday to transition myself back into routine. And so these are the hot topics that I want to cover off with you today. But like I say, I know the holiday blues well. So I say they can hit us hard. You know, we can have this sense of emptiness and longing for what we just left behind. The thought of getting back into the routine of everyday life suddenly feels monotonous and uninspiring compared to the excitement and adventure of our recent trips. And as you unpack your suitcase, memories flood back, the laughter shared with loved ones, breathtaking sights witnessed, and new experiences that enriched your soul. But then you remember you have to do the bloody washing. And the reality of post-holiday responsibilities begin to sink in, and the mountain of dirty laundry stares back, taunting you as you sort through your clothes, separating them, of course, into piles ready for washing. And it's easy to let those amazing memories and adventures you've had just start to slip away. And the holiday blues can, if you let them, not only impact your well-being as you feel so shitty, but also knock into your food, as your emotions can then take a knot, leading to overeating, eating off your plans, or full-on fuck it moments and binges. So I want to give you a few ways that you could possibly try to combat the blues. So first up, look back at your pictures, look back at them regularly, look back at those holiday snaps and revisit your memories, but do so in order to celebrate and to relive the moment, rather than allowing yourself to use them to further the regret of some sort, or the regret that you're on holiday. And why not use them as a tool to try and visualize yourself back in those moments and feel and experience that joy again that you had at the moment that that photo was taken. Maybe try a little bit of journaling about your holiday and all the things that you loved. Express gratitude for your time away, the people that you met, the things that you did, the sights you saw, the enjoyment that you had, whatever it might be. Maybe think about what kind of things do you want to keep? What memories do you want to keep? What do you want to remember? Because it's important to tell your brain how you want to feel and how you want to act, because then your brain will just follow suit. It's just a computer at the end of the day. Number 3, why not get your creative on? What about scrapbooking, montages, digital slideshows? The holiday may be over, but again, the memories live on. So why not make something out of those holiday memories, whether it be scrapbooking with tickets or the pictures or framing your pictures? Again, it's something to look back on and reflect on with happiness and joy. And then on that basis of finding your joy, focus on your wins and celebrate the shit out of everything. Life ultimately is only monotonous if you think it's monotonous. If even putting the washing out can be an act of celebration if you want to make it that way. And let's face it, some days that's all we can manage to do, and that's okay. And did you notice earlier how I said about getting back to work and home duties? The language we use is telling. And if I think they are duties, naturally, I'm going to feel restricted, as the word duty implies obligation. So try playing about with your language as well and swapping it out for the positive. And that can sometimes help to keep away the blues. And so rather than, ugh, I've got to do the washing, you could say, I am choosing to do my washing to have fresh smelling clothes. Might sound a bit trite, but it works. Give it a go. You might want to up your self-care. Ask yourself, what do I really need right now? What will serve me the most right now? And that's what you want to do. So again, self-care isn't just bubble baths and face masks and all these kind of things, although they can be nice and they can be used as mindful moments. Self-care goes a lot deeper than that. It doesn't have to. It can be that kind of level, or you can take it deeper. Again, your life, your weight loss, your journey, you make it what you want to make it. And don't forget your presence. So being present, getting present and living in presence is not a once in a lifetime opportunity, never to be repeated again. You can do it over and over. It doesn't have to just be, you know, yoga, meditation, that kind of thing, but just giving yourself time to find a peaceful moment, connecting with yourself, connecting with nature. And again, you will be surprised how your blues will start to lift. Getting into the groove. This was the next part of the topic. So that was my tips on combating the blues. But now I wanted to talk about how you can get back into the groove. So those who are watching on a video rather than listening on a podcast, there's a nice little gif going around of Madonna, because of course I've got the old earworms as usual. So I'm channeling some old school music vibes with Madonna. But really, in this case, you have nothing to prove. You have nothing to prove. Getting into your groove after a holiday can be a song and dance, or you can just try and dance your way through it. The question is, what groove are you trying to get back into? So are you navigating the change in your body clock, your eating routine, your exercise routine, your work routine? Each one of these will have their own little unique solution. But sometimes a holiday, no matter how short, can really throw us off kilter, and in some cases can lead to a long period of sabotage, which you will want to avoid. And the key is to find the resistance. What is it you don't want to do and why? And the sooner you can identify this and work on that, the sooner you're going to get back into finding your own unique groove. It may genuinely be that the holiday and getting out of your groove is a catalyst to find a new groove, because not everything has to always be exactly the same. And so it's an opportunity to check in with yourself. And this is again where the AAA way method can help you, because all you have to do is gather that awareness, step into action, small doable actions, and get it done with love. Couldn't be simpler, really, in terms of process and super sleuthing your life and weight loss. So just remember, though, Rome wasn't built in a day, because often it is our expectations that are out of whack. Don't get me wrong, we are bloody capable, but sometimes we think that we're Wonder Woman and we can just get off that plane and poof, be miraculously back to what we were doing before our holiday, or where we were before our holiday. But our brains and our bodies need time to adjust. So just like getting on holiday and finding your zen, which I talked about last week, getting back into normal life and working on weight loss again, if you weren't carrying on with the same process like when we use food freedom, it can take some time. And so sometimes you need to nudge it along, and you can super sleuth that if you want and need to. I think for me, the hardest part, coming back and getting back into the groove, is getting back to shopping and cooking. If somebody could just present me with food like on holiday, because I typically always go all inclusive nowadays, just for this very reason, then I would be happy as Larry. A life goal would 100% be having a personal chef. That's when I know I will be truly successful in life. But sadly, this is not the reality. So I hit up Pinterest. I had a brainstorm for my favourite foods that I could cook with ease to get myself back in gently. We also have a fishmongers at our local Morrison's. The daughter loves squid, so we increased our joy level by experimenting, and we decided to make some salt and pepper squid that I'd never made before in my life. It was actually surprisingly easy and fun. So if you do like squid, highly recommend giving it a go. And if you need the link for the recipe, or let me know. But this again got me a little bit more excited for the week, because I was doing something fun and I was finding some enjoyment. So again, it actually helped to then beat the blues a little bit as well. Because I also knew that I needed these extra couple of days off after the holiday. And again, I appreciate that's not always possible. But again, I was able to just transition myself back in slowly. And so just think about those transition moments, and just slightly going off on a tangent that's not related to holiday, but think about your transitional moments in your day as well. So, you know, if you're trying to go from work straight into, you know, mum mode or partner mode, sometimes, again, there's a mismatch. And sometimes you need to create these deliberate and intentional pauses in order to just create that little space for yourself that you need, and for your, like I say, your brain, your body to catch up, really. But again, what I really was doing is I was just using my methods, getting to, you know, and knowing my body, knowing my mind, knowing how I was feeling, so my soul level. And I just gathered awareness about what it was that I needed to change. And I took the small actions to try and move myself forward. And this is something that you can do with ease too. So those are my tips for getting back into the groove. What about weight and weight loss if you're working on it? So as a coach and in the membership, you don't have to weigh. You don't even have to be working on weight loss, because really it's about changing your relationship with food. After being on a holiday, you may worry that you may have gained a little weight, popped on a centimetre around the waist, eaten foods that you were trying to change for health reasons, or that maybe your trousers felt a little bit tighter. And of course, you may not be worried at all, because you may know that you honoured your body, you ate as per your physical needs intuitively during that period, like I was talking about last week. But regardless, your body might still feel a bit different. So on one holiday that I had, I gained 6 pounds. This was whilst I still had a difficult relationship with the scales. And so I was devastated initially, absolutely gutted. I couldn't believe that I put on 6 pounds. Where on earth did this 6 pounds come from? I didn't think I'd ate that badly. You know, all the judgment thoughts were coming in. The usual thoughts, like I said, I've blown it. You know, I've ruined my diet. I've gained this 6 pounds. You know, and I was disappointed too, because I felt like I had been quite mindful during my holiday. And I felt like I had eaten with my physical body needs. But thankfully, I used my mind and injury techniques. I didn't panic. I just kept doing what I was doing. I was mindful, yes, but I didn't feel the need to restrict or go on some crazy fad diet because of it. And then by next week, I was actually 6 pounds down again. And so it turned out that it was just water weight. And that's something that can happen. It's certainly something I didn't know that could happen, but you can gain water weight from the change in temperatures, from the air travel, all of these kind of things. So again, often we'll beat ourselves up and say, like, especially like large gains, large differences like that, up or down, chances are it's been water weight rather than true weight gain. But again, we half the time we didn't know that. I didn't know that until I was in my 40s. And I certainly wouldn't have thought about it when I was, you know, in the midst of being very judgmental with myself. But it makes sense, right? You know, your body is used to being in these climates, wherever it is that you're based. It's not used to going on planes. You've had a change of environment, maybe a change of people that you're with. And so, of course, your body is going to be completely in a state of it doesn't know what, because it doesn't know where you've been. It tries to maintain the status quo. And so it's like, well, hold on, she's moving more because maybe you're swimming in the pool, you're walking around more. I better store some more calories here because, you know, she needs more energy or something like that. So, you know, just give your body and mind some grace is what I'm saying. As for me, for this holiday I'd just been on, it was actually a maintain. And I was happy with that because, as I say, I wasn't actively working on weight loss. I wasn't looking to restrict myself on anything at all. I drank plenty of pina coladas. I had pudding with every meal because puddings are my favourite. And I absolutely thoroughly enjoyed it. But what I did then when I came back is that I've just looked to incorporate some more gentle power-ups and being mindful about what it was that my mind and body needed, and just give myself that grace to get and step back into reality. And again, whatever happens when you work on weight loss with love, this means working on treating yourself kindly and with compassion, ditching diet drama as quickly as possible as you can to get on with your day. And it means using those mind and injury techniques when your brain is saying, I blew it, I'm such a loser. And it's about resisting that urge to go onto some kind of fad diet and being called back into that diet cycle. It's just about continuing on. It's just a continuation of your journey. But the question is, What are you making it mean about you? And so often when judgment occurs, we are making whatever has happened mean something about us personally. Hence the thoughts, I'm such a loser, I'm a failure, I blew it. And the key word to look out for there is I. One solitary letter, but boy, can it pack a punch. Really hit you in the feels if you were not careful. Your brain is saying, I'm such a loser. I knew it. I knew I was going to blow it. I shouldn't have had that ice cream, all those pina coladas. And so what I want to do is actually use my TLC method and show you what that would look like in reality. And so how I use my TLC method, so it's about asking yourself, is it true? Is it loving? And then getting curious about what you can think instead. So again, the scale's showing a little upturn. You've been on holiday, showing a little upturn in the scale. And so that is it. That ultimately is what the reality, the true facts of the situation is that there's a machine, the weighing scale, that is showing a higher number on it than it did before. It doesn't mean anything about you personally until you start to put some thoughts to it. And if you're going to give some TLC on that thought of I'm a loser, and really ask yourself if that was true, you know, what evidence would you find that you're not a loser? You know, I mean, for starters, everybody's good at something. So I would say to myself in a response, when I ask the question, you know, is it true that, is it really true that I'm a loser? I would say, no, I'm not a loser. I'm trying to figure it out. I've been on holiday. The scale is showing again. I'm not a bad person or a loser as a result. And I'd start to turn that negative chatter into kindness. And then again, you're going to ask yourself, are you being loving? Well, clearly not. If you're calling yourself a loser, it's not very kind. Even if you're trying to say it in jest, because again, there's a lot of us who will use self-deprecating humour. And I, again, used to be one of them. But this is likely just going to, that still sticks in your brain that you're using that kind of language with yourself. And again, it could lead to some emotional eating. So again, when I ask myself this question, I would say something like, no, it's not loving. Beating myself up about the number on the scale won't help me. And so I'm just identifying, I'm trying to get the facts of the situation out instead of letting all of that self-judgment, all of that negative chatter, which can eat away at me. And then the final piece is getting curious. So again, what else can I think? So setbacks and slip-ups are simply part of the journey. I've just had a bloody fantastic holiday. Don't need a shit spiral of self-criticism. I want to feel compassion for myself, but I also want to be curious. Maybe this is just a blip. And you know, what I know that I just need to do is that I just need to continue following on with my daily doables, which are the daily steps that I suggest as part of the membership, and just observing this with love. And the other thing to bear in mind is that even if the scale does poop out a number that you don't like, you still do have all of your achievements that you could recognize and acknowledge, no matter how small they seem. So again, work on celebrating progress rather than fixing on perfection and rather than fixing on the scale. So maybe give yourself some credit for some healthier choices that you did make, for perhaps not having an extra scoop of ice cream you knew that you were not hungry for keeping your hydration up, or just doing this mini TLC exercise, whatever it might be. Just do something that makes you feel good about yourself and your journey, because this is where the motivation and the momentum starts to build. And I just want to leave you with a couple of other suggestions. So don't forget to check out episode 18 of the Wellness for Women show, Weight Loss is Not Linear, the difference between a gain, stall and a plateau. For members, there is an additional resource going into the membership literally tonight as I'm recording it, because I've got it ready already, and it is called What Does This Mean About Me, which is a mini exercise that's going to help you to identify any stinking thinking and to shake that off quickly. But that's it, folks. It is time to put away the suitcase until your next holiday, and it's been a pleasure to be here as usual. You've now completed the 3-part series on having food freedom on holiday. And remember that you have the power to embrace your authentic self find joy and work on that healthier relationship with food, one bite at a time. Stay tuned, of course, for more adventures, and check out the membership and this week's complimentary resource of what does this mean to you. And it just is time to say adios for now. Thanks for listening, and don't forget, if you want to boost your life and weight loss the AAA way, check out the relevant links for today's show in the description. Speak soon.